let me show you what Glenn Beck's talking about. My White House crash questions. So a guy, a teenage nutcase, kid's a bit of a loony, racist loony, but still, Indian kid, which technically makes him Caucasian, which is probably part of Whitey Bulger's confusion here. If you don't know, this kid crashed a U-Haul into the gate at the White House, and he was going to take over the guy. It was nuts. He's nuts. I mean, it wouldn't. He literally could have crashed that same U-Haul into a White Castle and came out saying the same fucking thing. It would have the same effect. Yeah. So if I'm not doing this whole thing. He's doing 16 fucking minutes on this. No fucking way. But I just want to, can we just enjoy his confusion? This is, by the way, Trump has launched his campaign. Ron DeSantis is officially in the race. There's a Republican primary fight going on. And what's Glenn Beck doing 2 fucking whole segments on his show? I'm confused.
Speaking to CBS News, the IRS whistleblower revealed himself. Now, this just happened. This is a new...
Wait a minute. He revealed himself in public?
IRS whistleblower revealed himself.
He revealed himself. Well, I'm against him feeling himself in the first place, especially if he's on the job.
Now, this just happened. This is a new guy since Monday, okay? Has revealed himself as a supervisory special agent, Gary Shapley. He is part of the IRS's Criminal Investigations Department. He is a 14-year veteran at the agency and
Fabulous.
Currently...
So it was put in by Bush, is what you're saying.
He oversees a 12-man team that specializes in international tax and financial crimes. He told CBS News that he began documenting his concerns about the Hunter Biden investigation in June 2020.
June of 2020. June of 2020. What happened in June of 2020? Oh, right. Biden started mopping the floor with the rest of the Democratic field, and Trump's numbers took a giant shit.
5 months after being assigned the
5 months
sensitive investigation. There were multiple steps that kept being slow-walked. They were just completely not done.
During a campaign, were these acute crimes? Were these crimes that had just happened? Or were you assigned by Trump or somebody in there to go after his main rival right as he won the primary to try and kneecap him during the primary? And everybody was like, yeah, we're not in a fucking hurry. This is just unpaid tax stuff. And it's nothing to do with the guy.
And it was happening at the direction of the Department of Justice.
Which, I thought the Department of Justice had been weaponized against conservatives and stuff. So that he was put in charge of this thing to go look at Hunter Biden in June of 2020. That's a campaign year. Who was president then? I don't remember. We'll have to look it up.
When I took control of this particular investigation, I immediately saw deviations from the normal process.
Oh, my God. Bunch of deviants.
It was...
Were they revealing themselves?
Way outside the norm of what I've experienced in the past.
Whoa. Way outside the norm. I mean, this is some serious shit. Hold on one second. I've got a... There we go. Let's try to just... Yeah. Anyway, sorry. IRS, you were saying?
So this is his first interview. He sits down with CBS, and they take him seriously and treat...
Okay. I'm just fucking around. First of all, you can't shit on the mainstream media and then say CBS sat him down, took him seriously, and is doing their job, and then suddenly they're the good guys because they're going after who you like.
Treat him seriously. He said each and every time it seemed to always benefit the subject. And I got to the point where that switch was turned on with me, and I couldn't stay silent anymore.
He turned his switch on and started revealing himself.
Mm-hmm. So we now know we have the IRS, along with the Department of Justice, doing all kinds of things that they shouldn't be doing on the Hunter Biden front.
Look at him. He's looking at Stu. He's hoping Stu will back him up on this. Stu doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because it looks like what he's actually revealing is that Trump had some people that were friendly to him put someone on the Biden beat and go after him extra hard in an election year just to try and kneecap him. And they went, all right, we'll get to it. And they were like, no, he's losing. You have to put a picture of Hunter Biden smoking a cigarette in a bathtub on TV.
But it's not just Hunter Biden.
Oh, dear.
IRS investigation into Matt Taibbi. Here's the latest on that.
All right. It's all tied together. Sorry, it's a big left-wing organization now. The IRS, huge left-wing. All right.
On Wednesday, yesterday, the House Judiciary Committee sent a letter to the IRS commissioner demanding all documents and communications related to the agency's decision to launch an investigation into Matt Taibbi. Now,
Wow. Where did Jim Jordan get the cojones to do something that tough?
who's Matt Taibbi?
He's this dipshit who used to work for Elon Musk and then quit because Elon Musk used him and then cast him aside. And Taibbi was like, you can only do that 3 times.
Matt Taibbi is a journalist. He's always been kind of a left kind.
No. He's always been a hidden tanky who used to live in Russia and wrote one of the most perverse and grotesque zines about expats in Russia that, I mean, I don't know what the competition was like over there, but it was fucking gross. He and his partner used to sexually harass all the women there in grotesque ways, and weirdly enough, started his journalism career in Russia, which is, you know, a lot of countries in the world, and all of these motherfuckers always seem to get their seed money or their start there. I don't know.
Kind of guy, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And he has, you know, been red-pilled, and he's not a conservative. He's just telling the truth.
Then he hasn't been red-pilled. He's been mauve-pilled.
And he's being a journalist.
No. He's being a substacker right now. Journalists have to report to an editor that has a legal department that fact-checks what they're doing. And if they fuck up or lie or misrepresent something, they have to print a retraction. Nobody on Substack has to do that. Look at Seymour Hersh. Remember that story? Remember that end of the world that came and went?
He is the guy that really tried to make sense of the Twitter files. He was.
Is that what he did? He tried to make sense of the Twitter files and failed miserably. Okay, cool.
One of the leaders on that.
He was one of the leaders on that. I love the way this man tells his story.
According to the letter, the IRS's inquiry was initiated.
I'm sorry. The IRS is what? I know I'm being a dick, but come on.
He tried to make sense of the Twitter files. He was one of the leaders.
Yeah, and there was no sense, so obviously, you know, it was doomed to fail.
On that. According to the letter, the IRS's inquiry was initiated December 24th, 2022. That is the same day that Taibbi released the report detailing the collusion between Twitter and the federal government.
Which was first?
Subtle, guys.
Yeah, very subtle. Well, it was not only on the same day.
It's also after he formed the racket using Elon Musk's money, right? Shortly thereafter. So there's like a SEC kind of a situation.
Was December 24th. So it was Christmas Eve.
Wait a minute. December 24th is Christmas Eve? Why was I not told? Also, so what you're saying is the Twitter files are supposed to be a Christmas gift to Musk or to Trump?
I don't know about you, but there's not a lot of work going on Christmas Eve. But the IRS are busting their ass, okay? December 24th. And it was a Saturday. So somebody was burning the midnight. It might have been Bob Cratchit because he was afraid and he wanted the extra scuttle of coal from the IRS. So the document.
It's magic. The way he can thread disparate storylines and ideas together into oatmeal is amazing.
It's passed on to Twitter by the FBI-led Foreign Influence Task Force. Taibbi revealed.
Interesting. Okay, so I had always thought it was just an audit. This sounds like something you would be concerned about. Why? What was it?
It's passed on to Twitter by the FBI-led Foreign Influence Task Force. Taibbi revealed Twitter was receiving content recommendations, blah, blah, blah. Joe Biden and the energy company Burisma. The report also showed that Twitter, along with Facebook and dozens of other tech-related firms.
Excuse me, by the way, he's mispronouncing that.
The Burisma executives. So this Burisma, they say, pronounce it Burisma.
Regularly attended FITF-led gatherings where companies often received an OGA briefing. What is an OGA briefing? That is a euphemism.
I don't know. You said it was an OGA briefing, and now it's an OJA briefing. I'm having a hard time keeping up with these three-letter things.
For intelligence services in general, in particular, the CIA. So the IRS has said, yes, we sent the letter on the 24th, okay? And that was 9 days after he filed his 2018 tax return. But they said, we called him over and over again to verify his return because it met identity theft criteria, and we couldn't process it. 9 days after they get this return to them, 9 days on Christmas Eve.
Right. Did someone file that Matt Taibbi used their social security number?
On a Saturday, the IRS is like, we just can't wait any longer. We can't do it. We've got to process this.
Or it's got to go out by the end of that particular quarter. It's a yearly thing. Yeah, exactly, Mark Kremer. They all go out on that day. How many fucking form letters do they go out on the 24th? Because Republicans want, to be Scrooge, so they put that date in years ago in some sort of legislation.
Because we're concerned about him. This IRS form looks like it might have been identity theft. So he says they never reached out to call them, They said, we did it twice, and then we just had to send agents over to... These guys are bending over backwards.
It's really nice of them to spend all that individual time on one person like that.
Nice. Now, the tactics in which they used, apparently now we know, to dig up any dirt they could find on Taibbi...
which wouldn't be hard.
The agent assigned from the IRS was instructed to perform an extensive investigation, which include using publicly available search engines, commercial investigative software, consumer affairs, LexisNexis, and Google. The documents provided to the committee also purportedly show the agency kept a dossier on Taibbi, including information such as his phone number, voter registration records, whether he had a concealed weapons permit, and whether he had hunting or fishing licenses.
Okay, so what we're finding out accidentally because of this dumbass is that Matt Taibbi has a long, multi-decade history of getting foreign funds that set off fucking alarm bells at the FBI and the IRS, and they always check it because holy shit, and everybody just, I guess, looked the other way half the time. Or they didn't dare go after him because he worked at Rolling Stone a while back. That's why they keep that shit. They don't just keep it because they don't like the smell of him. And if they did, by the way, if the accusation is that they kept this stuff all this time, but they only went out they just held it until he was accidentally red-pilled by Twitter at some point.
I don't know. That seems like maybe they weren't concerned about identity fraud.
Yeah, I don't say that one negates the other. That the fact that he's got fuck around money from overseas that is regularly concerning doesn't overlap or have anything to do with whether or not he fucking filed his paperwork and missed a number or some shit. Who cares?
So you have now two.
By the way, has he been arrested and sent to Gitmo? Did they come to the IRS agents go, hey, how you doing? Is this you? Yeah, it's you. That's your signature? Yes, it is. Okay, bye. Did they arrest him? Did they cuff him? Did they serve him a fucking subpoena? Is he grand juried by the IRS? Is there this massive fucking audit? Did they show up with fucking guns? Of course they're going to check and see if he's got a concealed carry permit or he's got guns in the house, if they've got to send agents over there, because right-wingers, and especially the recently red-pilled, have a habit of opening fire on federal agents and IRS agents.
Cases of the IRS just today that I can report on.
There's a two-step. One was Trump trying to manipulate the system, and the other is your assumption that they were going after Matt Taibbi because he suddenly found religion.
Now,
which he hasn't, by the way.
The FBI has just demanded answers the Republicans have just demanded answers from the FBI on the January 6th pipe bomb investigation.
Cool. Yeah, we all want to know.
Andy Biggs, Jim Jordan, and Bill Posey wrote to the FBI and Director Wray saying, we have been asking for an update on the pipe bomber.
Yeah, what did they do? Sign their name to Swalwell's memo?
We have witnesses, or we have whistleblowers that are saying, you ain't doing jack on this.
Well, yeah, I mean, has anybody checked to see if Marge is knocking boots with anybody at the FBI?
In fact, the whistleblower testimony on the investigation on the unusual character, including one disclosure that revealed that the Washington field office asked the FBI field offices to canvass all confidential human source nationwide for information about the individual that might have put the pipe bomb out a year after they laid the bomb. Now, you would think that this would be something they were all on top of.
Yeah, except they did, like, immediately they were looking for the person. But then, if you'll notice, Jan 6 happened. And their hands were full. They could have, you know what? They could have had a shit ton of resources pointed at this fucking pipe bomber, but a bunch of maggots decided to beat cops and take a shit in the Capitol. And so they had to go through millions of hours of Facebook live videos and posts from these dickheads to prosecute all of them. Of course it took them a fucking year.
But they waited a year.
By the way, they didn't wait a year. The Washington field office asked the feds to do to say, okay, we don't think they're local. It took them a year. It took the Washington police and to clear it. Took a fucking year to go, yeah, we've run down everything. This has got to be somewhere else. They got to be somewhere else in the country.
Still no motive. Still nothing.
Well, I mean, obviously, we have some stuff to go on. They want to disrupt all of it. And by the way, both were duds, I guess. So it was just terror, I think, is the motive.
A former FBI assistant director said they should have yielded some results by this point.
So clearly, it's a rig. This is we're back in Cheney zone. This was a mini dud 9/11. This is like Building 7. If it was still standing and someone had put a bag of dog shit on fire in front of the lobby and someone had stomped it out and gone, God damn it, these are new.
But gosh darn it, they just can't find it. Now, couple it with this last story.
Okay. By the way, already we have seen the brilliant mind of Glenn Beck, without, I mean, he's not even using his chalkboard today, linking unlinked stories simply by the organization that they are a part of. I'll give you an example. Apparently, you guys remember the standoff over public lands that the Texas family was doing, and they were pointing their rifles at the foreheads of federal agents who came down there and went, "This is grazing land for everybody, dickhead." And they had their women out in front and all that whole business. Remember that? Okay. And then the primary people on that were park rangers who work in conjunction. They are the like intermediaries between the federal forces when they come down there to actually have to enforce something and the actual citizens. And yeah, this is the Bundy crowd or whatever. And so the park rangers were involved in that. The BTK killer was also a park ranger at one point. And the villain in Yogi Bear cartoons, also a park ranger. I think you guys see me? All right. So something, and I'm not saying what, is going on here. Okay?
And tell me you've seen anything like these stories so far. Okay, First
of all, motherfucker, you're citing CBS interviews. They're not hiding. There's no lead being buried, you dumb.
Seen people in the Tea Party targeted during the Obama administration.
No, you didn't.
Before that, I had never seen it before in my life.
Well, that's because the Tea Party people kind of showed up and they were saying they were threatening the life of the sitting president, some of them, and they were saying stupid shit like, "Keep your government hands off of my Medicare." That's newsworthy just for its own hilarity.
Okay. So I had seen that. Got it. I have not seen the Justice Department go in and stop an investigation by the IRS. That's totally new.
They didn't stop an investigation by the IRS. What? That guy was saying it's not moving as fast as I think it should. That's a long way from stopping it.
I have not seen anything like what...
There's a lot of things you not see.
The FBI has been doing lately. And the pipe bomb and the January 6th, and they can't find the people who are burning churches, but gosh...
Yes, they did. All right. God damn it. Why? Do I have to fucking every goddamn time? Hold on. Let's see. Let me try to do this. That's the old one. Hold on a second. 1999. Let me try that. Oh, because the problem with church burnings is there's a lot of stories about them over the years. Washington. I think this is September 30th. Yeah. Okay. So this is let's see, is there an update on this guy? Nope. The only one I got right here, let me show you this. Just so that he's like, they're not doing shit. Here they are, they're doing shit. This is the ATF, another group that that Trump wants to defund and Republicans want to get rid of. Indictments issues rewards still offered in open ATF arson cases. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, May, early June. Civil unrest in D.C. have resulted in arrests and indictments. Investigations continue and suspects are still at large in the aftermath of other arson fires. Most notably, St. John's Episcopal Church fire. ATF continues to offer a $25,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, prosecution of person or persons responsible for the arson that occurred in Washington at approximately 10:30 p.m. Sunday, May 31st at the church located at 1525 H Street Northwest. Additionally, suspects are wanted in a fire set in a park services building located in Lafayette Park. Information also wanted on possible suspects in the arson fire at the AFL-CIO building located at 815 16th Street. At the AFL-CIO, again, it's very strange that the fires seem to be like PR fires where, you know, you can sort of shame protesters by burning certain things and making them look like the bad guys. And to set fire to the like union headquarters of the AFL-CIO, does that seem like a big Antifa left-wing thing to you? Let's see. I want to see this. So one sec. Copy this, and then I'll show you another one too. Paste and go. Da-ba-da-do. Here's whoops. Let's see. Fire. Let's see. No thanks. Okay. This is, they're still looking for the guy. Hold on. I'm not leaving. What are we doing? Get out of here. ATF still looking to identify man caught on surveillance following fire at historic DC church during BLM protests. ATF is offering a reward of $25,000 for him. Okay. Is this the footage?
We're near McPherson Square, for reference, just a few blocks from all of this. Crowds too around here started to, Lorraine.
Able to engage or
ask them what brought you out. We heard things going on.
They're talking to these people. Hold on, let's see if there's okay, so this is the guy. This is the guy they're looking for. Pink sleeves, yellow top, sock cap, what have you. Surveillance photos near St. John's Episcopal Church during BLM on night when fire. ATF is offering a reward for that guy. So if you've seen that guy, who, by the way, is not one of the backup dancers from In Living Color, no matter how much his outfit might make you think that. But they're doing nothing. They're still looking for the guy, but they're doing nothing.
Darn it, they can find those peoples that have violated the FACE Act. Now this one.
Dun, dun, dun.
The alleged neo-Nazi accused of ramming a rented U-Haul truck into the White House security barriers.
Alleged. I don't know why they would use the word alleged. I don't know what would lead people, besides what he said.
Being held in federal jail pending a detention hearing next week.
Wait, he's being denied his due process rights because they're holding him without bail?
Kandula, 19, not an American citizen, I believe from India.
You believe?
He appeared in federal court yesterday. He is from Missouri.
Oh, yeah, so he's definitely not an American.
If you don't know this story, it is bizarre.
Yeah, it's also not a story. He's a nut. A nut in an empty fucking truck with a Nazi flag.
He slammed a box truck. Now, a box truck, it was either a Ryder or a U-Haul.
It's a U-Haul. There's a picture right next to you, dumb fuck.
And clearly marked, it's a moving truck.
Yes, it was moving, and then it stopped once it hit the barrier.
Now, when I think of somebody going after a federal building in a moving
you think of Timothy McVeigh
truck, especially with the information that the FBI knows that 60,000 tons of ammonium nitrate have just disappeared from the railway. Have you heard that story?
Okay. Hold on. I think they burned it in Ohio. Hold on. 60. Ammonium nitrate. I'm on the nitrate. This is 3 days ago. Here you go. Hold on 1 second. Continue. All right. You gotta continue to say. Okay, let's go here. This is what he's talking about. 60,000 pounds of explosive chemical lost during rail shipment, officials say. The company transporting the ammonium nitrate from Wyoming to California said the release should pose no risk to public health or the environment if the loss resulted from a leak. About 60,000 pounds of a chemical used as both fertilizer and an explosive is missing after likely disappearing during a rail trip from Wyoming to California. Rail car carrying ammonium nitrate left a plant operated by explosives manufacturer Dyno Noble in Cheyenne, Wyoming on April 12th, according to an incident headed towards California. Not D.C., but whatever. Okay, the report states the chemical was released due to an unknown cause, I'm guessing leak, and was discovered missing after the rail car arrived in Saltdale, California, an unincorporated community more than 1,000 miles from Cheyenne. At the time of the report, the car was empty and on its way back to Wyoming, according to the company. Ammonium nitrate is a key ingredient in both terror attacks and fatal accidents. At least 581 people were killed in 1947 when more than 2,000 tons of the chemical exploded on a cargo ship that docked at a port in Texas City. The same year, in Brest, France, a Norwegian ship containing 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate exploded, leading to 29 deaths. 60,000 gallons is not in that range, but we'll go. All right. It was also used in a 1970 bombing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. 2013, it was causing an explosion at a fertilizer plant in West Texas, killing 15 people. Source of a colossal explosion in Beirut. It's a very common chemical that anybody that has used fertilizer has dealt with routinely and doesn't think anything about it. Chemistry professor at California Institute of Technology says, way down, told NBC News following the Beirut explosion. Just give it a little fuel and you're asking for trouble. And that's what apparently happened. But a California law enforcement source familiar with the case told NBC News the recent disappearance of the chemical does not appear to be connected to any domestic terrorism threat. The agencies would examine a potential threat to Homeland Security are not among the main investigative agencies involved in the case, the source said. Representative for the National Transportation Safety Board did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Spokesperson for the Federal Railroad Administration said the Union Pacific's initial findings was that likely a leak caused by a component of the rail car. Yeah, it drifted along the way, and it was 1,000 miles, and it was pouring out, and it emptied. One tank car of it emptied over the fuck off. But it's missing. This guy could have been behind it with teaspoons, ladling it into a small dish.
60,000 tons. It's on the loose.
No. Hold on. Hi, dum-dum. Big difference. Big difference. Big. 60,000 pounds. 60,000 tons is all the trains ever. Or 60,000 tons is all the trains ever. 60,000 pounds is one tanker car. Just.
And somebody pulled.
Sorry, say that again. Hold on. Whoop. Let me get back up here. Say that part again, stupid.
60,000 tons. It's on the loose. And somebody pulls a
60,000 tons. It's on the loose. There's loose fertilizer everywhere. That is it. And that's probably why he thinks the control room at the Blaze smells the way it does. It's hey, look, fertilizer on the run. Come on now. I agree. We're gonna have to pull in some
giant U-Haul van and is trying to break through the fences of the White House.
And it's not even making a sloshing noise.
And get close to the White House. As a police officer, investigator, Secret Service, what is your first thought?
That we have sensors all over Washington, D.C. that check for the fumes from large amounts of chemicals like that already, and it didn't detect any. It just detected a empty U-Haul truck. There are weight sensors as well on all the streets for miles around the White House and the Capitol. That would be my first thought. It would be some assholes trying to ram an empty truck into the gate at the White House. That's what yeah.
There's fertilizer in the back of that
man's head.
U-Haul truck. Okay?
I'm just saying, when he's pointing at his head saying there's fertilizer in the back, that's just too much fun.
When I saw the U-Haul truck, that was the first thing I thought of was Timothy McVeigh. Okay? And I know that 60,000 tons of that
60,000 pounds. Pounds. Dum-dum. Pounds.
fertilizer is
And it's not fertilizer. It's one of the elements in fertilizer. That's all right.
just gone missing.
It's just gone. It's evaporated. It's
Okay.
okay. That. I got a lot of questions about that.
So he slammed it into the barriers along Lafayette Square.
Nasty.
He allegedly has planned this attack for 6 months.
Yeah, he's also Looney Tunes. He could have planned it for 6 years, or I guess in if you're gonna weigh the years, in 60 tons, and it still would have been equally as ineffective.
We know because of his writing, has been released, can't get anything from Nashville, but this guy, he had to get to the White House, seize power, and be put in charge of the nation. So
yeah, it sounds like he was late for January 6th. This was the hey, wait up attack.
immediately I think the guy has mental problems.
Uh-huh.
He was accused of threatening to kill the president.
Uh-huh. And also being a loony.
If that's what I have to do, he praised Hitler.
If that's what I have, I'm going to kill the president to become president magically if I have to. Hey, man, you got a plan? Work on it. That's all I'm saying. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Okay, so fill me in there, Glenn. I'm sorry I'm late, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
And Nazism.
That's not good. That's a bit weird. I mean, I get it. Why you're focused on this. And it's interesting that you were worried about a fertilizer bomb when it says clearly written right there on the side of the truck, saving you money on gas. That stuff's in the liquid form. You know what I mean? Oh, I might have to change. All right.
He is not a white guy.
He ain't. Well, I got that's news for him, I guess. You do know you ain't gotta be white to be Caucasian. That's one of them mountains that goes over into in parts of the Middle East, and you come over there, and that's where everybody left, and them Caucasians came down all fucking pale compared to everybody else. Everything's on a fucking sliding scale. And you got to remember in Texas, them people was saying it was racist because black people were getting all these what they call them. I never went to school. I never cared to. But scholarships, that's what it is. They give you a boat full of money, them scholarships. And they was like, they ain't no scholarships for white people. And so they made one. And they specifically wrote in there, you got to be a certain amount of Caucasian to even get this thing. You got to be a certain guaranteed amount of Caucasian. It says Caucasian. They used the word Caucasian. They put Caucasian in there. And they didn't even snicker when they said the cock part. And it turns out them Indian people are Caucasians. And they was like, oh, shit. We got to give out fucking scholarships. Hold on. I think there's where's that story? It was a news thing on it. Hold on. I think they got it in there. Hold on. Oh, the Darwin, Wisconsin, called ranked don't call fight. Oh, there's it's an old story. I'm not even sure. Rich Road, U.S. College. Hold on. It was Black Dodge, Forsyth, Trimble, Fire, White Male, Temple, Bears, something like that. Great Indian curry debate and the caudacity of white people. The fuck are you talking about? NBC, what the fuck are you talking about? The caudacity. Fuck y'all. It's frustrating to watch distant descendants of Europeans who colonized our countries for spices have the audacity to not be able to distinguish among them. Dude, do you know a good burger from a bad burger? I didn't think so. Ain't no fucking magic. All right,
was originally charged with threatening to kill, kidnap, or inflict harm on the president.
Right, and then they decided to lower the charges to Looney Tunes.
Vice president or family members, as well as an assault with a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, well, a U-Haul is a dangerous weapon. And look, I'll tell you, one time I was helping a friend, and I'll just tell it the way I told it to the judge, okay? He shows up at my house, and he says, it's moving day. And I was like, I know, that's why I'm in the shitter talking to you through the window. And he goes, no, you're going to help me move. And I go out, I was like, oh, shit. And he goes, there'll be pizza, there'll be beer. I was like, all right, that's standard, right? You can bribe my ass to help you move as long as you got the truck, pizza and beer. Because we get out there, and I open up the back of it, and I'm like, all right, where are we going? And I open up the back thing, it's already fucking full. And I was like, what? Where are we going to put your shit? And he goes, oh, we ain't moving my shit. This is my brother's shit. I'm moving him out of my house. So I put all his shit in there, and you and I are going to move him to the dump. I got pizza and beer. That's all I'm saying. I got pizza and beer.
Reckless operation of a motor vehicle, trespassing.
This all sounds very suspicious.
And destruction of federal property. That's what he was charged with. Does all of that make sense so far?
Sure.
Okay, I can't place the Nazi flag.
Yeah, he's nuts.
And the other thing that bothered me
is that you're not supposed, like it's like he's upset that an Indian person is stealing the Nazi flag. Hey, motherfucker, the swastika was appropriated from Indian Buddhism and Hinduism. That's where the Nazis got it, you dumb son of a... Maybe he's just taking it back.
Was the fact that...
It obviously means something else to them than it does to the Nazis who call it the hooked cross, but whatever.
If I am in charge of the White House and I have access to all...
Yeah, that will never happen.
All of this information... If Glenn Beck knows that 60,000 tons of ammonium nitrate is missing, and I see that Ryder truck or that U-Haul truck, I immediately say, get the hell away from that truck. Back everybody out. Get everyone out of Lafayette Square. Now, we have seen pictures of what happens next because they only backed people up a little bit.
Right. Because they could tell, by the way, Glenn, if you were in charge of the White House, which will never fucking happen, but let's just play along. If you're in charge of the White House, you would also see all the sensors they have around that can fucking tell. You don't think they... All right.
And this is where it really gets hinky. We'll talk about it in...
This motherfucker's been listening to my show. Notice he says hinky just then? He's been watching these clips. Fuck you, Glenn. You...
60 seconds. So my first question is...
No, you've already had multiple questions, stupid.
The park police that are guarding Lafayette Square and...
are probably related to BTK.
And the Secret Service, the White House, everybody involved in protecting the White House. They see this truck. They got a guy who's pulled out a Nazi flag out of his backpack.
No, he didn't. It was in there. They pulled it out after they pulled him out of the vehicle. Those guys who don't go, everybody back, it might blow. Don't just let this motherfucker ram the gate until he keeps going. They either open the door, pull him out, or shoot him, or address him as a threat. That's why you appreciate them.
Put him to the ground. Then they display the Nazi flag. Never seen that before. They lay it out nicely on the ground because they've only backed the people up a little bit, so people are taking pictures of it. Then, what do you think would be done with that truck?
They pre-explode it, throw a grenade under it, and run. Call John McClane. No. Talk to Hans Gruber's brother in prison and see if all the members of Asian Dawn have been released yet.
I would think you would call the bomb squad.
No, it's just a vehicle at that point.
And you would say, get to the White House. We have a truck. There may be a bomb in it. And you would have...
Or using the array of sensors that they have around the Capitol and the White House, especially now, you would scan the truck as you do everything that comes in and out of the White House through those gates and know that it's empty.
Video of that little robot coming to open that door, right? And you probably wouldn't have video except from the robot because you would have moved people out at least a block away. They didn't do that.
Right, because they could tell by where the wheels are that there was fucking nothing in it. They knew who the person was within seconds. If there was, Jesus Christ, there were 300 tons of ammonium nitrate in that fucking thing, it'd be low ride, take it easy.
Instead, they just open up the door. And then they start rifling through stuff and taking stuff out and putting it out almost like you do when you've confiscated drugs.
Right. Because that was the extent of the threat that they found.
So the media can come in and take pictures of it. They lay it out. I've never seen that before.
There's a lot of things you've not seen.
Never seen that before. Okay, so we either have out of control police that are working for the safety of our president who...
Out of control police that are working for the safety of our president. Yeah, that didn't mean anything. It's just gibberish, okay?
Should not be there because what the hell are you doing? Why are you up? Where was the bomb squad?
Wait, see the tires here? See how it's riding? See that? Yeah, not full. Not full of any of the measurable weight you would need for any kind of explosive like that. Again, also sensors all over the property. Okay.
But then it gets really weird.
He's going to be our guest on the show right after this.
Yesterday, the DOJ takes his charges, remember, charged with threatening to kill, kidnap, or inflict harm on a president, vice president, or family member, as well as assault with a dangerous weapon, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, trespassing, and destruction of federal property. He planned it for 6 months.
Yes, and it came off like a box of Cracker Jacks. 6 months. And what did he come up with? I'm going to ram an empty U-Haul truck into the gates of the White House, smash my way in, and seize power. What did he think in month 2?
They downgraded his federal charges to a single count of destruction of federal property.
Yeah, because they pled him down and he's nuts. He's a crazy person. Because he wasn't actually going to be able to do it. He's bananas. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He drove, ultimately, he crashed this thing into a gate, and he's, I don't know, fucking, is he 17 years old? How old is that kid? Hold on. Let's see. Truck crashes. Whoop. White House. Now, there you go. Into White House. There you go. He's 19. Yeah, there he is. This is the dude. The suspect made threatening statements about the White House at the scene. A law enforcement officials, yeah, he just kind of smashes into. There are these giant pylon things, and he couldn't get past it. A 19-year-old Missouri man accused of, and why? And you know, if he's not, U.S. Park Police charged against the allegedly, okay, indicated he was seeking to harm the president. Charged against Kandula for allegedly threatening to kill, kidnap, and fire. We're talking about President Joe Biden was in the White House when the truck crashed outside. He had met with White House Speaker Kevin McCarthy Monday. It wasn't clear if Biden was informed of the incident as it unfolded. He was relieved no one was injured last night and grateful to see the agents and law enforcement officers who responded quickly. The suspect was interviewed by the Secret Service Monday night. During the video, also involves Park Police Kandula was further charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, reckless operation motor vehicle. That's the guy. Authorities said the preliminary indicates Kandula intentionally crashed into the bollards outside Lafayette Park. A Nazi flag was seized by authorities at the scene of the incident. Law enforcement official told that the suspect made threatening statements about the White House at the scene, but was quickly detained. Truck did not contain weapons or explosives. Without providing further details, asked for the reaction. I don't think there's any place for a Nazi flag or the sentiments he made, said the official. White House U-Haul truck. The white U-Haul truck crashed into the barriers on the north side of Lafayette Square, a few hundred feet from the White House, just before 10. A few hundred feet from the White House. A bystander appeared to capture on a cell phone the moment when a 26-foot U-Haul truck jumped a curb but couldn't fit through the barriers set on the sidewalk. I've walked around there a bunch. There are no injuries to anybody, blah, blah, blah. They said in a later statement posted on Twitter that the truck had been deemed safe by Washington, D.C. police, and the preliminary investigation reveals the driver may have intentionally struck the security barrier. Okay, yeah. Reuters news agency published an image showing a Nazi-style red flag. Video footage later showed a robot opening the back of the truck, which appeared to be empty. Yeah, this the kid's... Yeah, he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Hold on, get back up. How are you doing? Scroll. Get here.
Can somebody help me with that?
Yeah, I can help you. They knew as it approached, probably a couple of blocks away. This might be shocking to you. Anybody drive? People who drive from Vegas to L.A. There's a little like car portal you have to go through that where you hardly ever get stopped, and they just wave you right through most of the time to see if people are bringing fruit into California. And that's preliminarily what it was for a long time ago. Now they've got, pesticides and stuff. There's not a real worry about the transfer of fruit blight between states because everybody's on the same fucking page. But they, everybody's like, why do they even bother? They come to how could they even check? They're watching you in the drive. You could have anything in your car. Asshole, they know what you've got in your car if you're the bad person before you've left town because they've been keeping an eye on you. They only pull you over if they spotted you miles back doing some awful shit. That's what that thing's for. It slows you down so they get a shot to catch up with you essentially, or to hey, can you pull over here? Let me check, see what's going on in your trunk. We think we heard some screaming when you were at the gas station a couple miles back.
They have been trying to put people who are extremists, white nationalists, they say, extremists. Here's a guy, he's not white.
But he would believe himself to be a Caucasian Aryan nationalist. Do you think Glenn Beck is just as fucking dumb as Jimmy Dore about let's say Syrian Nazis? It's weird that in Syria under Assad is Long Harbor Day, soft spot for Nazism. The revolution is changing that. Maybe still by the revolution, by the way, are the people who are against Assad. The anti-Assad forces are also anti-Hitler in this situation. See how the messaging gets a little fucked up on the Jimmy Dore side these days? A new death notice appeared in a Lebanese village north of Beirut last September, glued to the public wall. As residents of the village went about their days, some of them probably stopped out of habit to read the name of the man who recently died. It would have been a scene repeated every day in Syria and Lebanese villages. Those who didn't know the deceased proceeded to peruse the names of his surviving family to find out whether condolences were in order. There was more to this particular death notice, however, than the news of the death itself. People took pictures of it and posted it on social media, where it immediately went viral. Incredulous people read the name of the deceased man, written in big, bold font in the center of the poster, Hitler Zakia Basil. Not much was shared about Mr. Basil himself, but the names of his sons, Adolf and Addie, yeah, he named his daughter after Adolf Hitler, too, hinted at something of a family tradition. I was aghast when a photo of the poster reached me via WhatsApp. I spent my life between Aleppo, Damascus, and Beirut. Before moving to Paris a year ago, I've encountered countless such anecdotes, which seem to be the haphazard leftovers of some combination of enduring government propaganda and a lack of actual World War II and Holocaust education. Despite the rejection of the ideology by the vast majority of the population in Syria and Lebanon, symbols associated with Nazism were there, out in the open, and having a swastika tattoo or waving a Nazi flag did not land a person in jail or lead to a financial penalty. The first time I remember seeing a swastika was at the all-boys Presbyterian school I attended for 12 years in Aleppo. Al-Salib al-Makuf, the hooked cross, was one of the many symbols the boys would mindlessly carve into their desks, scribble on the walls of the bathroom, or sketch in textbooks. Most of them, I would learn, didn't even know what the symbol meant. Those who didn't know much. School management didn't rush to remove the symbols or try to ban them more than they did any other symbol or writing on the wall. Every Syrian school has to provide National Socialist upbringing classes from 7th to 12th grade, where they're taught about the immortal leader Hafez al-Assad and the achievements of the leader of the March of Development and Modernization, his son, Bashar al-Assad. Their dictatorial regime has been in power for 50 years. The subject was addressed, blah, blah, blah. Then there's a lot of, there's Hitler and talking to Mujahid Mohammed al-Hosseini, buddy, because they're Caucasians, is the idea. But does Glenn know this? No, because Glenn's a dum-dum.
But he has a Nazi flag. He loves Hitler. He said he's going to kill.
Yeah, but, I mean, 2 words. Kanye. I'm just... All right.
The president. He actually takes a truck and tries to get it close to the White House. And you're only charging him? Didn't you put grandma in prison for the rest of her life for parading?
No grandma was put in jail for the rest of their life for parading. Also, he's a Looney Tunes, and they pled him down, and he's going to do time for what he can understand of what he did, and he's probably going to end up in a mental institution.
You're going to charge him with destruction of property? Now, I'm not alleging anything.
Yes, you are.
Because it could just be, this is a POC thing. Oh, he's a person of color. He's a minority. He shouldn't.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, my God. That really? You're going to wrap this shit up that way? That he's not, they would normally go after him because he's a Nazi because fuck whites. But they're going to let him off because he's a Nazi of color. He's a knock. Jesus Christ. Fuck you. All right, we're done. We're done with Glenn for a while.